All right. So I'm getting the feeling that you kids are having questions not really on life anymore because you're starting to understand what life is. It's just the multiverse and it's just boring. So you're starting to understand what life is. You more have questions and that's, it's done, right? It's the multiverse. That's it. You're in your room, nothing else. So now you really have questions of creativity. Like, how do I make good movies? How do I make good video games? How do I write good books? How do I make good TV shows? Um, and my style is like Steven Spielberg. I'm mainly the best place to start is writing. That's the best place to start. I'm a writer, but when it comes to filmmaking and making video games or even writing, my style is like Steven Spielberg, right? Steven Spielberg is the Michael Jordan of film. Very fundamental. You see the Mitchells versus the Machines, um, it takes fundamentals and expands on it. That's all it is. And same thing with Into the Spider Verse. It takes the fundamentals of art and expands. Well, I'm not good at the expanding part, but I'm good at the fundamentals. Steven Spielberg is the Michael Jordan of filmmaking fundamentals. He's Michael Jordan. So that's where I'm at. I'm like Michael Jordan. I'm very fundamental. And you guys ask, how do I get there? How do I become fundamental? Um don't try to simplify everything too soon, right? Like drawing every line like it has to be perfect. Don't do that, right? When you see a kid's drawing, when you see a kid's drawing, it doesn't make any sense. Look how big that hand is compared to her, right? And her eyes are just circles, right? It's not real. It's not realism. It's really abstract, and that's where fundamentals begin. Is your childish drawings, right? So your childish perspective of science, of academia, of academics, of everything, your childish perspective on the world. That's where you should start. You shouldn't start by trying to be Da Vinci. You shouldn't start by trying to be this great scientist. You shouldn't start trying to be this Atlantis, right? That's where Rose made the mistake. That's where um, the kids outdoors. Um, I, you could call it a mistake, but they kind of needed therapy, so they kind of came out and asked for therapy. So it wasn't really a mistake. It was really asking for help. But if you want to call it a mistake, it's they couldn't decide what to do. So so everything had to be perfect. Every line, everything had to be, it had to be a family. It had to be, everything had to be perfect. Don't do that, right? Other than the therapy, which you do, if you need therapy and you need to go to the hospital, do that. I'm just saying, um, creatively, don't draw every line like it has to be perfect. Okay. So fundamentally, where you want to start is like this, right? Like a child, how a child sees the world, right? So like this, or the Green Ranger where he's just breaking everything, or like Nothing, where she just likes herself, and she wants everyone to like her too because she likes herself. Really simple, all right, or really abstract. It's a How do you know to like yourself? You don't like, who thinks that way? It's very abstract. So that's where you want to start as a child. How a child sees the world. I don't understand physics. I don't understand science. I don't understand art. Start there. That's the fundamental. Film, video game, books, TV shows. That's where you want to start. All right. So either I like myself, or Green Ranger breaking everything, or just I have a big green hand. You know, that's where you start. You don't start. You don't start. Everything has to be a family. It has to be a multiverse family, and we're all together. And no, it's just a multiverse. You're in your room, and you're just trying to make a good movie, trying to make a good video game. That's where you start, right? You don't try to control everything. You know, everything has to be perfect. Don't do that. All right. So yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you guys on how I make films. Because you guys are wondering like how are you doing this? And I'm telling you how I make films. And I'm Rachel Green and Brianna White, max each. Rachel Green max and Brianna White max. And it's just either way you want to write it. It's like Rachel Green, Brianna White max, or it's Rachel Green max, Brianna White max, and it still ends up the same. Rachel Green, Brianna White max. It's just Rachel White max. And so yeah, that's what you guys are wondering, like, how are you doing this? How are you making everything so cool? Because I just start at the fundamental. Just be a kid, right? And that's how I make films. That's how I think. And that's how I slow things down. I slow it down by just being a kid. All right. So yeah, that's how I make films, TV shows, video games, whatever. How I write books. This is time. This is nothing. And yeah, I just start at the fundamental, like Michael Jordan. Just be a kid, right? So yeah, and so my style is more like Steven Spielberg, which is the Michael Jordan of filmmaking. I don't have the talent to mess things up yet, like Min does, Time, and Katie or Ryder. I don't have that talent yet. I'm working on it. I don't have that talent to just take one small idea and expand on it. I don't have that talent yet. But if you guys want to slow it down, stick to the fundamentals. All right, just be a kid. Make movies how a kid, you as a kid, how you would make a movie. Don't try to be the Mona Lisa, the girl with the pearl earring. Don't do that. All right, just be a kid. Whatever you see in your head, make that movie, make that video game, make that book, that TV show. Okay? So yeah.